Stay in the know with Radio 2000 podcast. The Drive Connection. Monday to Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. with Paul, Isaac, and Lonwabo. Radio 2000. Our music, your memories.
Our music, your memories, yes indeed. Radio 2000 it is. We'll now find out more about Zakhaa. Yeah, it's a credit management system for small businesses. This device is in a form of a mobile payment machine, and it can be held by hand. Well, he's not on the line, he's right here. You sit before me. I almost said on the line. You know, we're very used to Teboho saying on the line. Here you are. Good afternoon, Teboho Twala.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Radio 2000.
Thank you.
What an innovation.
Thank you.
What are you, some sort of mad scientist, or are you just business inclined?
No, well, my background is engineering. I studied
engineering.
Chemical engineering. Yeah.
I see.
Yes, and I worked for many years in mining industry predominantly. And I had a stint with making alcohol with South African breweries as well.
Oh yeah, making alcohol.
Yeah, but not drinking it.
I love that. Your story is quite exceptional.
Yes.
At some point in your life, you're out on the streets.
Yes.
Circumstances that took you there?
Look, it was a case of, I think in today's world, people have a lot of support.
Yes.
In a sense that parents go through different challenges in marriages. And these days you can see psychologists, you can see counseling and that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So I think it was just because I had a stepfather and my mom, and they had a fallout, and my mom dwelled and took out problems in alcohol, and perhaps that's why I don't drink. And unfortunately,
you made alcohol, but you didn't drink it, as you were saying.
But
correct,
unfortunately, obviously my mom, out of frustration, took her frustration out of myself, and then I found myself living in the streets, and this family in Welkom that adopted me and changed my life forever. Yeah.
So now, engineering background, you worked a lot within the mines.
Yes. I was quite fortunate. Look, I then reunited at some point with my grandmother in Kwakwa.
Okay.
And I went to a school there. I went to Teboho Secondary School, and I passed in 2000 and finished my matric. I passed quite well. I had.
So you went to UJ?
Yes, I had one distinction in maths, and then I went to UJ, completed chemical engineering, and then I started joining the mines. I joined ASAB, then went to the mines. Then I worked in Rustenburg, then I went to work in Germany and in Nigeria. Although we lost to them yesterday, I've stayed in Nigeria for around 2 years, commuting or flying between Nigeria and Germany. So I worked in Germany, Belgium, and Slovakia. And then I came back to South Africa, and I started my business in 2013. By accident, actually.
How did the idea come into being?
The Zakhaa idea.
The Zakhaa, yeah.
So I've been in business for now since 2013.
Yeah.
And, as business, we do what we call replica businesses. It's we call it entrepreneurship. But when you go and study entrepreneurship, they tell you it's like you're just replicating what's out there. So obviously, it would be a no-brainer that I would start a business in mining because I was well acquainted with the mining industry.
That industry,
so my first business was started there around 2013. And then since then, I built businesses in restaurants, in eventing, and then in commercial properties like small shopping centers and stuff. And I needed inspiration. So I enrolled and I studied postgraduate diploma in business administration, graduated with that, and thought about should I complete and go on and finish MBA. And it so happened that I was invited at Wits University to offer what they call a lecture on entrepreneurship as a guest.
Okay.
The one professor invited me there.
I see.
Professor Rob Fenter. Then I went, I presented. And then a lot of students liked my presentation. It's quite practical of the things that I've done in entrepreneurship. And I started speaking to the professor, saying, I'm looking for inspiration on something I can study around entrepreneurship. So it so happened that Wits had this master's degree in entrepreneurship and new venture creation.
Yes.
And now around last year, we were offered another course called Technology and High Growth. So we were taught about high growth businesses that have impact, that create meaningful jobs. And we were taught about internationalizing businesses and stuff. So that's when the idea came from. When I started, I needed to do a research. So I then started thinking about my research topic, and then I needed to solve a problem within society. So technology is not something I've been in. So I learned from what I've studied in the master's degree. And I decided I'll do the research along those lines.
Along these lines.
That's where the inspiration of the idea, because I was looking for inspiration to get into high growth businesses.
Even the name says it all for me. I mean, Zakhaa, Rata Chele.
Well, I wouldn't say no.
No one would say no.
I can solve problems with money. That's most important.
Now describe this machine to me.
Yes. So as you can see, it's a typical M-POS machine.
Actually,
Yes. So how this machine works, it's quite interesting. How it works is it can do two things. It can do both you can do card payments.
And capture credit.
And capture credit.
What is that?
Yeah. So
very interesting, isn't it?
Yes. I want to make you an example. You are you live in Midrand somewhere.
Yes.
And it's in the middle of the month. Your car breaks down and you want to talk to a mechanic to assist you. Mechanic says to you, it's going to cost you 3,000 rand and your car is overheating, right? Yes. So you say to a mechanic, I don't have 3,000 rands, but I have 1,000 rands. So it means I can swipe 1,000 rand
right now. Okay.
But I don't have the other money.
So I owe him 2,000
You
rand
owe him
now.
2,000
Correct,
rand. Now this enables the mechanic to capture all your details. It does all the credit checks. It does verifications of your banking details.
Yes.
It does verifications of yourself. It also can take a photo of yourself.
Oh, see, there's a camera there at the back.
Can scan also your ID.
Yeah.
So all your document. So you and the mechanic will get into what we call a credit agreement.
Yeah.
Using this machine.
Okay.
So immediately you show your table. I'll fill in all the details so you can see after. After you fill in all the tables, you have an agreement. You even agree on the payment terms.
So that I will pay him.
So you pay him, let's say
monthly.
Okay. On the 2,000 rand
for the next 2 months.
Management fees. You say, no, I'll pay you for 6 months. It will say you'll pay 350 every month. It activates that debit. Every month you'll get a statement. The mechanic gets a statement
from that very same card that I swiped with.
From the same card you swiped with, the banking account you supplied.
Okay.
And you have this information. The mechanic has this information. Zakhaa administers this information. Both of you get statements after each and every at the end of each month.
In a case where no money comes in, we have that 2-month agreement with Isaac as the mechanic.
Yes.
And there's just now no money coming into that card.
Yes.
That
account.
I deduct,
that account. You don't, like any other debit order, when it bounces.
It bounces, correct.
Now, this is a problem. Me and you can agree that
there's an agreement
probably
in place, of course. Yes.
Me and you can agree that you probably have been in this situation before, where somebody took incidental credit from you.
Correct.
And they never paid you. And many small businesses are going through the same problem as we speak today.
Yeah.
And if you compound this to, let's say, 10 businesses owe 2,000 rands each, and you have about 8,000 businesses in a period of a year, you compound that debt, it's about 2 billion rands.
Yes.
So there's lots of billions floating around that small businesses are owed that they would never be able to recover. But now with this, there's a formal agreement.
Yeah.
That means the small business can recover the money like it can recover, like all the big businesses can recover the money.
So initially, somehow, if I see that no money is coming to that account, I can go to the bank.
Yeah,
and authorize them to say, listen, should any money come into this account, please, redirect to me.
No,
because we have a 2-month agreement.
Zakhaa is the one that debits that account on your behalf.
Right.
And it pays you.
Correct. I understand that.
Zakhaa debits that amount, it pays you. If this person is no longer paying, the report comes
to Zakhaa, to you guys.
To Zakhaa, yes. And it also informs you, both parties that you.
And you guys go and query there with the bank.
Then we can go and query to the person on your behalf. But also remember, we built now a reputable credit or debtors book.
Okay.
So that reputable debtors book you can sell as a small business, which is what big businesses do. I'll make you an example. Remember when Edgar's went through a rough patch? They sold a credit book of 10 billion.
For how much?
With 10 billion.
Okay, 10 billion it was, yeah.
It was part of the valuation because they had that credit book. But what do small businesses have? And remember, through this credit book that we have built for the small businesses, they can now, in their management accounts, put it there that I'm owed 20,000 rands by so and so. If the bank says, where's the proof that you're owed 20,000 by so and so?
You've got it there.
We've got it captured by a reputable company like
even a picture.
Zakhaa.
Even
a picture is there. Everything is there. So you can hand the person over to your lawyers. You can sell. There's companies that buy small debt that they can buy that debt for you. Obviously at discounted prices.
Correct.
But at least you recovered some money.
You can recover something.
Something.
Is this thing out in the market already?
Not yet. We are starting with. Not yet. We are starting with the beta program around May. We'll run the beta program. There's a selected about 100 or so merchants that we're going to give these machines for free. And then we run a beta program just to fine tune it. And then we estimate that by end of the year we would have finished running the beta program, and next year we can launch on a big scale. So
around about 2025 or so you'll be ready to roll out.
Yeah, we'll be ready to roll out. So now we're like beta program, because you remember these sort of systems, you also get new ideas as you go, but also input from the customers and consumers themselves.
Yeah, to say,
so that helps. What about this? Why don't you add this?
If you can add
here, so that's the whole point of having a beta program.
How much do you think it will cost?
Look, outright purchase will cost about 3,500 to 4,000
for the unit itself. Including a charger, possibly.
Which can last up to 48 hours. Obviously, with challenges of load shedding and that sort of stuff. Now, we also have two other options where you can have a rental option and you can have also monthly payment over a period of 24 months. So we'll announce all those things as time goes.
And then how much percentage do you take?
Ourselves.
Yourselves.
Look, we by law
on the vendor.
By law, this is it's a credit management system.
Correct.
By law, this is a incidental loan, which means it's a micro loan. Law allows you to only charge up to 5%.
About 5% or so of each
transaction. Credit agreement.
Yes. I see.
So you can only charge that much. So obviously we try and make something available for the merchant, which is the owner of the small business. But the biggest win for them is that all of a sudden they've built a credible credit book, and there's also issues of cash flow, because we have spoken to a couple of banks. Then one of the banks identified an opportunity where they said if we could give them access to the credit book of the small business, they could look at the opportunity where they could borrow the small business money at the back of their credit book,
according to the information you might have.
Now, let's say
you're charging the bank to give them that information.
No, we're not.
You're not going to do that. Okay.
Remember what our aim is: to solve financial inclusivity and to solve also economic inclusivity for the small businesses. So by doing this, and by having the bank having access to this and lending to the small businesses at the back of this information, it means we have solved the problem for small businesses. We would have achieved our objective, which is what we're trying to do: foster financial and economic inclusivity for small businesses in unbanked markets.
Incredible story. Teboho Twala, he is the founder of Zakhaa, a credit management system for small businesses. It should be rolling out 2025, but they'll do a test run on around 100 merchants this year, and by 2025 they should be ready to get this handheld device that's going to just make your life a lot easier as a small business out there. Thank you so much, Teboho. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
There you go. It's Radio 2000, our music, your memories.
The Drive Connection, Monday to Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. with Paul, Isaac and Lonwabo. Radio 2000, our music, your memories. If you missed it, catch the rewind on radio2000.co.za.